Who's got the most Riz? I would say Chris.
Really? Is that Riz?
Well, what's going on, everyone? We're back for some more Sturniolo triplets. I've got my friend HIlary with me today.
Hey.
So HIlary actually is a triplet herself, and she also happens to be a comedian. Have you heard of these guys before?
Never, no.
Never?
Do they have triplet telepathy?
Yeah, I think I think they do at times for sure.
Jealous.
I don't know if it's going to remind you of your triplet dynamic.
Yeah,
but...
well, I might need a glass of water and some therapy after that.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be fun, guys. It's going to be really fun. You ready to get into this?
I am.
All right.
I was going to say he's Grimace.
Oh,
Nick.
you put your hand where
Yeah, because I went to reach for my drink.
Sorry.
There's normally no fucking clapper going on.
Dude, can I tell you what I don't believe in at all?
Yeah?
Tell me, elaborate. Listen, actually.
Tell me, elaborate, listen, hold on.
I just sounded like Willy Wonka. Scratch that, reverse it. No, but actually...
See, this is like already, I don't know, like for me, this is part of the appeal. Like Nick's trying to tell Chris something and Chris is like ignoring him.
Yes.
But that's real.
Yes.
Right?
That's
you know what I
brotherly
mean?
love.
That's
Yeah.
brotherly love right there. And there's no performative element really
Yeah.
to a lot of the videos that I found.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, this is how brothers are off camera. That's what I love in terms of, and this is literally, I think, how they got famous off these car videos.
Right.
This is like their
Yeah,
main, this is
yeah.
their main type of video.
I almost feel like I'm on the way to soccer practice with them or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
Just being like, what are they doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do to just be famous and successful these days too.
I know.
You
Yeah,
know
all
what I
I
mean?
need to do is sit in my car and like I can pay my bills.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Done. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you have to be, not to say you're not. HIlary is very entertaining, but
Yeah,
not to
whoa,
say,
whoa, whoa.
not to, and this isn't a diss on them. Like, there's obviously a reason that millions and millions
Yes.
of people watch them. They're
Yeah.
highly entertaining
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
But it is amazing that.
But I think that's
they,
such a skill as
It
they're
is.
entertainers.
Yes.
It is a skill for that to come off as effortless.
For sure.
You know? And maybe that's how they naturally are. Maybe
Yeah.
that's something they've cultivated
Yeah.
over time. But
just being able to do that in front of the camera,
yeah.
be themselves in
Yes.
front of the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Stingray petting zoos. How is that happening?
I think they, like, de-sting them. Yeah, they just
What?
Yeah,
You know how
they de-sting it.
So they're fully de-stinging a stingray just so
Well,
that
you know how they,
humans,
like-
little kids can stick their grimy, gross little fingers into a little...
Wait, can I ask you? Do you know their birth order?
People have definitely told me, but I can't remember.
Okay.
What would you guess?
Nick, I feel like definitely is not the oldest.
Ah, interesting.
I feel like he's got some youthfulness to him. Not
okay.
even that he's immature.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's a playfulness. I
Okay,
think is
cool.
what
cool.
I mean.
Okay, interesting.
But that's all I've picked up so
Yeah,
far. But
he's actually, not to discredit your
Yes.
your people analyzing skills, because they are excellent. I would say he's probably, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, the leader of the three.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he, first of all, from just an operational perspective, I think he leads the way. He's, I think, the main video editor. and
Okay.
He's just like the most aware of the camera a lot of the time.
Go, Chris. I didn't know.
Nick.
Nick. Yeah. Because I noticed, because he did look into the camera
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he was saying that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
But
believe-
I think also like leaders can be very playful.
For sure.
Too.
Oh,
and
for
I mean,
sure.
maybe good leaders are. And
Yeah.
being able to kind of curate the vibe, that I think there's a lot of maturity.
Definitely.
And strength in that.
I agree with that.
that's so sad, actually.
Shit, like, I love the zoo, but, like, I don't like the idea of, like, enclosing the...
See, my thought is people are like...
I fuck with, like, when the animal actually needs help and the rehabilitation, and they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
But if you just take, like, a wild bear and throw him in a cage for the rest of his life, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I don't believe in zoos, but, like, I'll go to the zoo.
Yeah.
Honestly, same.
I'll take part in the
Yeah,
activity.
right,
I don't fuck with it, but I
Right.
take part in the activity.
I'm not gonna be the one harnessing the lion myself, but
Right.
I would like to watch it caged
I'll
for my
contribute to the perseverance of the zoo. It kind of reminds me of my high school days, just like fucking around with my buddies, talking about what, like,
Yeah.
the most ridiculous stuff. There's a nostalgia.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah. And I think especially since they're in a car, I don't know, something about being in a car I feel like is intimate, but also just like more casual at the same time
Yeah.
too. Like it's like
Yeah.
maybe it can lend itself to having a deeper conversation because it's just
Yeah.
the two
You
of
could really be
the three of
yourself
you,
in a
whatever.
car.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so. Yeah. I'll
You could really
cry,
be-
like sing.
yeah.
Yeah. I love driving along the highway and
Yeah.
just like looking to see who's picking their nose. Like
Right.
it's a good time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I guess maybe it's different with your triplet dynamic,
Mm-hmm.
but will you guys get into like these silly discussions?
I definitely with my
Yeah,
brother.
with your brother, yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I think, I mean, growing up, it was like we were in the same class, on the same sports teams. We worked the same job in
Yeah.
high school. So, like, we always knew the same people. Like, we have certain, even just like words or like looks that I'll give him,
Yeah.
or like small things
Right.
will just, I know, make my brother die laughing.
Fuck up.
I think like sometimes with like zoo animals and shit like that, even though it's like, oh, like they're in the zoo.
You know, Dad went up to me today. I went in there. It's like 3 a.m., 2 a.m., and I went to get this Red Bull because he was like talking about like get rest. It's important. I said fuck sleep while I opened the fridge, and I was expecting him to be like, oh Nick, no, come on. He goes, sleep when you're dead.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
What you said about Nick earlier,
Yeah. See it?
Yes. I think
Yeah.
especially like giving more sass and like playfulness
Yes.
to your parents too.
Yes.
That takes, well, I mean, I'm assuming that he has a very comfortable
Right.
relationship with his
Takes
dad.
it takes a
Yeah.
certain amount of courage.
Yeah.
I said fuck sleep while I opened the fridge.
Can you tell like he's charismatic
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Very
My
cha-
eye, even just watching them on
Yeah.
the screen, my eye's constantly drawn to him. Like I
Nick,
feel like
yeah.
his face is the most animated.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he's charismatic.
Yeah.
He's very charismatic.
Yeah.
He's a confident speaker too.
Do you feel like Chris and Matt, are they happy to let him lead? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. They can kind of just be completely themselves
Mm.
on camera.
Mm-hmm.
They have so much trust that Nick has their back in terms
Yeah.
of like sort of managing the overall
Okay,
operation.
okay.
But what's interesting to me too is like you saw Chris kind of look back and like fake throw that Altoid
Mm-hmm.
box at Nick.
Like zoo animals and shit like that, even though it's like.
I think that's cool that they've consciously choose to leave all that in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
yeah.
they're still editing at the end of the day. So it's cool that they leave that in and they know that's like a real part of their dynamic. And that's ultimately I think what we love watching as an audience. Like we love like seeing those real moments of like a
Yes.
brother being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You made us wait until the camera was up so you could talk about it because it was funny. But I don't think it's funny. That song's like a sad emotion. No, we were just jamming out to James Arthur, and Nick said, "Ask me about that song."
See, I have been fighting this knowledge in my brain for so long.
Okay.
Like having this story and not telling anyone because of how like the sheer embarrassment that it brings me to.
Okay.
That was an interesting comment by Matt who said you just waited for the camera to
Yes.
be on.
You made us wait until the camera was up so you could talk about it because it was funny.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's an awareness from all these guys about, you know, what's going to be entertaining. Even though it feels very natural,
Right.
there's still an awareness around what's entertaining.
Yeah. From an entertainer perspective, that's very
Yeah.
clever.
For sure.
I'm going to hold on to that until the camera's rolling because
Yeah.
you want the genuine reaction and thoughts
Yeah.
on that. So, well, and it's interesting too because there's three of them. And, you know, like the saying of like two's a pair, like three's a crowd, right?
Three's a crowd,
But
yeah.
the way that they're all, it doesn't feel like one of them's really left out. Like it seems like they're all engaged. They all
Yeah.
are relating to each other in equal parts.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do they ever bring on any other of their
They
family
do.
members?
I haven't seen. Oh, I saw one with their brother and their mom.
Oh, they have
So
another brother?
They have another brother who's a few years older.
Okay.
So sometimes they will, and they have a podcast now.
Oh, okay,
Where they
cool.
bring people on. Actually, Nick, he's shared me on his Instagram story
Oh,
before.
cool.
I think Chris has too. And people were telling me that they mentioned that they wanted me on their podcast. Yeah. That'd
That
be
would
sick.
be cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be really cool.
For sure.
It was like the first guy I had ever like romantically hung out with ever.
Okay.
And this song was on, and I think we were on like part 2 of hanging out,
no.
ever, and full tears.
No way.
And that's when I knew that it was not gonna work at all.
That's crazy.
And again, that's how you know that this isn't scripted. Because
Right.
like the way
They both turned around.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
same time with the genuine.
Tears. Yeah.
It almost feels like it's scripted. It's so good.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
it's perfect timing. He's fucking funny, huh? He's
That's
fucking
really funny.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that it was not gonna work at all.
Where most people might be, oh, embarrassed by that. What's
Yeah.
this person going to think of me? But the way he's presenting it is like he's okay making fun
Yeah,
of
he's
himself.
very okay making fun
Yeah.
of himself for sure.
Yeah.
I always say, I mean, we have a comedian right here, you're a comedian, but I always say he has the qualities to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say it.
Weird shit.
Say it.
No, I can't.
Say
I
it.
can't. I can't.
Matt!
No, because then I think after that, for some reason that when they do that song, it's normally supposed to. Yo, diamonds. Blinging. Okay.
Oh.
normally, squint. normally when they do that song, it's normally like
These two love each other so much. Chris and Matt. They love each other so much. At first, I was like, Matt's obsessed with Chris.
Okay.
Because he was always kind of like looking at his reaction and like wanting his validation almost. That's what it felt like. Always wanting to connect, not his validation necessarily, but always wanting to connect with him.
Yeah.
But like, the more I watch these guys, I see how much Chris sort of has a soft spot for Matt. They just bond. They just appreciate each other.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And then they have a lot of similar interests and stuff like that too. And
see, I picked up on that as well, but I didn't know if that's just because of the way they're sitting, right? Like it's a bit more awkward to turn behind to look at someone.
I've seen like a really cool kind of dynamic between Nick and Chris, but it's more obvious with Matt and Chris. It's just like a best friend almost type thing.
Yeah. They probably maybe have a bit more to connect over to because Nick is queer, right?
Yes.
Nick's gay.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like there's some, they're both,
both
especially when they're
guys
like, they're talking about like the girl. Yeah, like maybe
sure.
there's maybe something
for
a bit
sure.
more to connect over there too.
I think
like that shared experience.
That might be part of it.
5 foot, 5'1" maybe max, and the girl that I had a crush on was like 5'8". Towering over you. Towering over me. Still
I forgot in middle school. That's like, oh my god.
How that added up. I was also in 8th grade. Really strange. But that song plays. Dance into that song, right?
Who's got the most riz? I would say Chris.
Really?
I would say maybe like Matt has like kind of like soft guy riz.
Like that quiet confidence?
Sensitive. More like emotionally in tune, kind of sensitive riz.
Is that riz?
Well, yeah.
I would argue.
It can be.
I would argue everyone who has riz is emotionally or they should be, I guess. You don't think Nick has the most riz? I feel like he's definitely the most charismatic.
I feel like Nick's the most charismatic, but I feel like Chris is smoother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see. Yeah.
Matt, listen, I'm not hating on Matt, and I don't mean soft as a negative thing at all.
School dances were the worst fucking thing on this earth.
I love them.
You love school
dances? School dances have got to be. I regret going to our high school prom with every single...
I regret going to every high school event
in my being.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, looking back at life, I genuinely despise a lot of the things I did in the past.
Even just the way he lingers on the word. Like, you know something funny's coming where he's like, despise. Like, and the way he's looking.
Despise a lot of...
I've commented on that a lot. You guys know that. I talk about just the way he communicates. Like, he emphasizes words.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
And it's funny because he's, like, dramatic about it, too.
Yes.
Like, I think that's part of the humor.
And, like, unnecessarily dramatic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I despise. Like, oh, you really hated it that much? But it's funny.
Right. Even just, like, the word choice,
yes.
too. Which, like, I know we're breaking it down to a very minute level, and he's probably not consciously thinking of these things as he's speaking.
Yeah.
But the word choice, even, can add so much humor and emphasis to certain parts of the sentence.
Like, extreme words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I've never worn jeans. Can someone, like, go shopping with me? And I put it on, like, my public Snapchat story. First of all, really embarrassing. 2, like, I wanted to, like, have a friend who, like, take me to buy jeans. Like, that just shows you, like, 3 years ago, I bought my first...
No drip!
I bought my first... Get out of here.
They get along so well. Like, when I first started watching them, they didn't listen this actively to each other. There's a lot more, like, outbursts and sort of, like, contentiousness. So I wonder if that was, like, a conscious effort on their part to be like, we need to be a little bit more confrontational for the camera. I don't think it was. I don't know, maybe over time there just seems to be more positive vibes overall between all of them.
Yeah, it could also be like a maturity thing too.
I asked you guys, what are some random hot takes you have? So now we're going to react and agree with or disagree with fans' hot takes. I love that.
Matt, put your phone down, you fucking Pokemon slob. I just had to catch that one. I needed a rock.
Slob is crazy. Oh, my phone's not loading! Okay, we're good. Baked mac and cheese.
And they know, like, when they express themselves to a certain degree, they're going to get laughs from each other, too. There's a comfort. They can just express themselves however they want. But when they do express themselves to these more, like, extreme levels of goofiness, they all appreciate it. You know, it's not, like, shut down. It's almost like it's validated and encouraged. Yeah. Don't they look identical?
They do. They look identical, but even their mannerisms are very similar.
I feel like these two actually have a similar way of delivering humor.
I agree.
Nick and Chris. Chris exaggerates like Nick does, but not quite to the same degree. But he has that same tone.
Yeah, I think Chris is a little bit more random. Like, which I think is funny and is a little bit more like out of the box, whereas like you can tell like Nick is a little bit more centered and grounded in what's happening.
Yes.
Even though he is still very dramatic and
that's very
he's
astute.
using a lot of hyperbole.
That's very astute.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Baked mac and cheese is awful. Agree or disagree?
Strongly disagree.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Baked,
Seriously.
dude. Anything baked is just getting a little bit better, and you're throwing mac and cheese in it.
Like lasagna? Have you had baked lasagna?
Most
Unreal.
You're getting excited.
Yeah.
It's like most lasagna is baked.
No, it's like there's this.
But this is what people crave is the realness. The goofiness to the extreme, the hitting, the swearing. Like, there's a reason these guys are as popular as they are.
What do you think is their main appeal? Like, is it?
Well, they're good-looking guys.
Sure.
I mean, we'll start there. I mean, you're
I think I'm too old for them.
You're
but
too old
yeah.
for them probably, but they're charismatic, they're funny, and they have a really just good dynamic, and they're able to just be themselves on camera. But I also think they're smart, and there's depth to them too. Like, the more you get to know them, there's a lot more to them than just them kind of talking shit.
Right.
You know, I think they actually have really good personalities too.
Chobani! Chobani has to be, like, no hate to Chobani.
No,
I feel horrible tearing up a brand like this, but Chobani has to be my biggest fear.
And y'all throwing a big word at us too, like Chobani.
No, it's like every time.
You're dying to make fun of something.
No, I have to.
Leave it in.
I can cross out. No, I can cross.
Fuck them. Fuck you, Chobani.
See, I'm glad.
Yes.
I like how they had that little conversation. Matt's worried. Like, I think Matt's more of like the agreeable one.
I agree.
Out of the
yes.
three, you agree?
I do agree that he's
I'm
being agreeable right now. Yeah.
Also, like, the most concerned about how that brand would receive what they're talking
Right,
about too,
yes.
right? He's just like, let's not talk shit
Right.
on Chobani.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Chris is just unfiltered. He's
Right.
like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
fully, yeah.
Fuck you, Chobani.
That's where their dynamic plays so well together.
Yeah.
Where you need kind of both of that in a
Yes.
way. You know,
Yeah.
if everyone was like Chris, then it's like they get canceled.
Right.
And if everyone was like Matt, then it wouldn't have the same maybe entertainment factor.
Yes.
Not to say Matt's not entertaining on his own, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nicholas, maybe he has a fridge full of Chobani yogurt because he's eating one every day.
He's dead.
Yes or no?
If you're eating yogurt, first of all, go fuck yourself, and then try to look in the mirror and say, what can I do to make some more friends? Because eating Chobani yogurt isn't going to be one of them.
Oh, just the whole classroom is so rude.
If you eat Chobani, you probably... Yeah, mom likes yogurt. I don't care. This is a rude...
I love how they're just fucking tripling down on Chobani.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Chobani's just, they're just taking it.
You know, in any type of group dynamic, you'll have those same kind of topics or ideas that you'll come back to make fun of. And I mean, this is I think an example of how they're such good entertainers because they're letting in the audience to like their inside joke.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're in on the joke. We're like, we're in on it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's something that, who knows, maybe they have a conversation after this and they're still referring to it. Like that, I think really
That's
builds...
actually a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a
builds
really good point. Because, like, look what's happening with us. Like, we're able to piggyback on these conversations as well, right? So you're totally right. I think they are really good at bringing the audience into their conversation. That's a skill.
Yeah, they fucking made the whole break room out of sugar.
What
You
is this,
delusional
Candyland?
idiot.
The break room glass, dumbass.
No, fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just spilled that because you said, what did you say?
You said Tayo Cruz. Tell him how you feel.
What did you just say?
I love how they can just talk shit to each other, and then in literally the next second they're laughing with each other. You know, that's how you know people are close.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
No, fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They know each other.
Yeah.
They know they love each other. They can say it,
Yeah.
and it's one of their ways of expressing their love. If you don't genuinely love someone, you're not saying that unless you're like a real asshole.
Right. Yeah.
But like other than that, like.
Not to their face.
No, exactly. The fact that, especially Chris, he'll seems to do it the most. Like, I think he's not doing that with people that he doesn't care about.
Yes.
You know? So if you're getting a fuck you from Chris, you know he likes you.
Yes.
You know he loves you.
It actually means I love you.
Yeah, I truly believe that.
Matt, put Pokemon
And
Go
if you
away.
haven't watched Wreck-It Ralph, post on your story because I guarantee you there's someone out there just like me dying to watch Wreck-It Ralph with someone who hasn't seen it before.
It's honestly... I don't think there's anybody that passionate about it, but
It's
just cinema.
Wreck-It Ralph, do you know the plot twist?
I just felt it in my bones.
dude. I knew it would be here.
You know when King Candy has the glasses on?
Oh, can you?
I really like these guys. They remind me a lot of some of the guys I was friends with in high school.
Really?
Yeah, just like very silly or just being like, I actually don't think anyone's itching to watch Wreck-It Ralph. Like this, yeah. Yeah.
I knew you'd like them. I had a feeling you'd like these guys.
I think I definitely identify most with Nick.
With Nick, okay.
Yeah.
Just sort of as, like, you feel like he's like the mediator? Is that why, like, in that sense?
Mediator, yes, and kind of like, I think I'm the most extroverted and outgoing of my triplets, and I think underneath that there is, I don't know if it's mediation so much but just caring about what's happening, what's everyone doing,
like
the vibe.
a spatial awareness,
right?
Like an awareness of the environment.
Yeah, and also, but like the emotions of everybody there too.
Yeah, Matt in particular as well is empathetic, but more on like a one-on-one type situation. It feels like, as opposed to like being in tune with the entire environment.
Like he's not like carrying the team.
Right.
Yeah.
The other day I saw Nick fold a blanket just to unfold it and use it like moments later.
Not true.
Yeah, it was.
Where?
Los Angeles, California, in our home, Nick.
Why?
2 weeks ago. The other day, dude. Fucking potato.
I need to know the circumstances.
80-year-old motherfuckers be like, the other day I was on the bus for a nickel and like, obviously I can say the other day. The other day Nick fucking folds a blanket.
Dude, Chris is on right now, honestly, and I've seen a bunch of content. Chris feels like he's in a really good place here. What's the new term for like in your moment? Like Nick's in his...
Oh, wait, he's in his...
Is there a term for it?
Yeah,
he's in his era, era?
He's in his main character energy.
There you go.
His main character era.
Yeah, he's giving main character.
Yeah, he's giving main character energy. There you go, yeah.
He's giving main character. He's feeling himself right now,
I will say more of my... As the video's gone on, more of my attention has been...
Chris.
Yeah.
Woo!
There's no disagree or agree moment. I disagree.
Matt, do you get what I'm saying? That was like the first time I was fully in thought right there. Just what about like Pokemon and shit?
No, I was thinking.
Matt probably thinks like the weirdest shit. Like I don't
No,
know.
I was thinking like, whoa, wait. Who did I tell? Who did I tell about my dream when I woke up today? Wasn't it crazy? Would that be worth telling them?
I don't remember.
They get hyped off each other. Like they just play off each other's vibes so well. And like the silliness leads to like the disagreeing, which leads to the interrupting, which leads to like it's fun, man. Like I wonder, what do you think happens when the cameras shut off? Like when they finish this video and they're done filming, what do you think they say? What's the first thing they do?
I feel like Nick's like, woo, that was a great video, guys. And he's like trying to give out high fives.
Okay.
And then Chris is kind of like, you piece of shit. Like what is happening? Like, maybe like saying that was the dumbest thing. Like the yogurt.
So they're the same essentially.
I would feel like it. Yeah.
And Matt's whatever. He's like calling the yogurt company.
Yeah. He's like, I'm so sorry. Here's the apology letter. Like, don't sue.
Like high school me who wore sweatpants and hoodies every day would have called like everything I wear now ugly. And that just shows like, okay, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. If past me would be a little bit embarrassed about it, I know I'm doing good. Yeah. I put a vest on and it changed my life one day.
That's good.
When?
Do you want to tell us about it? I feel like you just really got emotional.
Like Chris is sharp right now in terms of like picking up on everything everyone's saying, like because his go-to way of like connecting and showing love is like if they say something, he'll pick up on it and like make fun of what they say. That's his way of showing that he's paying attention.
Maybe I've changed my mind on who has the most Riz.
Okay.
If it was like raining gumdrops and Skittles and y'all turn on your TV and it was just me, I was like, guys, I can't believe it. A fruit roll-up just landed on my fucking left shoulder. And if you look to the...
Would you? I feel like you'd have to be wearing a colorful suit.
Buddy, literally... No! Fuck that! No!
What would you have on?
Buddy, whatever comes that day.
As a comedian, I feel like you can appreciate this, and someone who helps people with their communication skills. A fruit roll-up fell on my left shoulder.
A fruit roll-up just landed on my fucking left shoulder.
Yeah.
The specific candy was the fruit roll-up, and it specifically fell on my left shoulder. So what that's happening is it's bringing your audience in to like a very visual sort of idea.
Yeah, having that visual, I think, then you can take the audience's imagination to different places. Like we're seeing a lot of hyperbole here, and that is funny, just exaggerating, like saying, I despise, like it was this, that, and it, it'd be funny if he was like, it collapsed on me, like it broke my shoulder, like making something unnecessarily dramatic is inherently funny, I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Got new pajamas today. Real soft. Tell me how soft those are. Get the fuck out of here.
He's slaying in those pajama pants.
You're feeling them. You like them.
I like them.
Yeah.
I think they're very funny. They've got good humor. And they're businessmen. They're 20-year-old businessmen.
For sure.
They're just
killing it, going on tour, selling merch, killing it, millions of subscribers.
Yeah.
Guys, almost died there. Guys, hope you enjoyed that. HIlary, thank you for coming on the channel and doing this with me. This was a lot of fun, and I hope to have you back.
I would love to.
Guys, I also just reacted to a Sturniolo vlog on my Patreon page. So if you want to watch that, including our uncut reaction and analysis of this video, you can go to my Patreon page. I've included the link in my description below. Also, make sure you go check out HIlary. I've included all her social media links below in the description. Check out her on TikTok. She's big there. You're going to love her. YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and we'll see you very soon.